and ride and died. Ride and died. We're done. Ride or die, friends, stop. Stop being ride or die. I mean, if they expect you, when I jump, you jump. Bitch, no, if you jumping, sometimes if I don't think that it makes sense that while you jumping, you jump, I'm not jumping with you. Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl mogulinthemakingj, or just Jasmine, and it is day three of Vlogmas. Girl, consistent content. We getting it, whoa, getting it, whoa. And we're back with another video. And the video today, as I told y'all, I'll be out here writing out the things, writing them out, is friendship red flags. All of the Vlogmas videos will be linked in a playlist. Hopefully I do that little thing right there. I think this is my best content to date. So don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and share this video. And without further ado, let's get into the friendship red flags. Once again, if I look down a little bit, because I'm reading this, like I wanted to make sure that I got y'all all the goods. And so for those of you who have not watched my best friend dumpversary video, which I highly suggest, I took an impromptu trip to LA on the eve of, or the day of, being, you know, dumped by what I thought was gonna be my best friend, my forever friend. She dumped me via text message on election night, and, you know, left me a dissertation of reasons for why I am not shit. And then also thought a year later, or 8 months later, that she did not end the friendship, but she put it on pause. But she talked about my mother. You talked about me loving you. We're done. And you brought it into the workplace. We're done. Ooh, y'all, I don't think you're ready for these red flags. But I thought that after posting that video in a year that's gone by and reflecting on how much I've grown, matured, and healed, that it's important to be accountable. So these red flags are not just going to be what other friends have done to me that I now can reflect on as being red flags, but where my own personal behavior, like the response, is a red flag to tell you that you are not with the friend or in a friend group that you need to be in, and that you have to have active accountability and responsibility for leaving said friendships or not participating in a particular way that could be deemed as toxic. So, you know, we're not doing the it's all their fault situation over here, because nah. And, you know, 2020 was a year for me, not only of one best friend, but another best friend that I lost. I changed a lot in 2020, and so it's not surprising that my friendships drastically changed too. And, red flags. Let's get into it. But number one is that everything is a joke. Yo. So friendships where most of the time everything is turned into humor. Y'all seen that meme where it's like you send a text and you put LOL at the end of everything, or LMAO, and really you should just say what you said without the LOL, because a lot of times you're just using it as a filler so that the statement can be either be taken seriously or kind of joking. You're trying to make it, you know, be lighthearted, when really, like, if your feelings are hurt or you want to get something across, the LOL is not necessary. It's the same thing when you put an email. It's like, just checking in. Like, no, here's the inquiry. This is how we feel. So I have found that friendships where it is based in 100% in giggles and laughter, that you're not prioritizing when things need to be serious. Sometimes things aren't funny, or sometimes the joke needs to stop. And if you don't feel as though you can make that shift in a conversation or with a friend, and that you know, you have to put an LOL in the statements of, you know, texts or just conversations, that's a red flag. Because this life is wild and we sometimes need to cry, get serious, and grow. I think serious grows, humor is medicine, but you need to be able to be doing the work to be healing the wounds as they occur. Number 2, you place that, ooh, y'all, this is a word. You place that friend on a pedestal where they can do no wrong. Mercy, mercy, mercy. Be honest with this one, all right? Like, I had a friend where she was just like amazing, you know? Like, to me, she literally could do no wrong. She could talk to me any kind of way and I would justify it as, you know, oh, she's not really talking to me wild or crazy. I thought that she, you know, was you know, much loved in her community, and you know, just people would gravitate to her, or she just felt so spiritually evolved, which I got a red flag for that one too. My grand rising woke sisters, we gotta talk. But I just felt she could do no wrong, and by doing that, I placed her well above myself. I thought she's the thinker, she's the cognitive, you know, person that if I feel bad about something that I've done, I'm gonna think based off of who I've placed at a higher pedestal friend. So you've got a friend where, you know, they can do no wrong, or you can justify all of their actions because you do not place yourself first, or you prioritize yourself lower, that is a red flag. Number 3, you don't feel like you can say no. This goes really well with number 2. Without fear of being rejected. So this looks like if a friend's like, hey, let's go do this thing, and they, you know, they say it very persuasively and you just don't want to do it. Like a friend that I had, we were always like long distance, never lived in the same state, and she would always like, hey, let's go do impromptu going out, like get dressed, let's do it, like separately. And I was like, I'm a homebody. Or at the time definitely was a homebody, and I didn't really want to do it, but I always felt like I felt bad for saying no. And I think the reason is that I was afraid that if I said no, then that would be me, you know, exiting the friendship, or me, you know, not having a voice. And other examples of this can be that like there are just things that you don't want to do, or that things that a person does to you that you don't think are okay, but you have a fear of speaking up and being like, nah, because a no is like, it's authoritative. It's like, no, I'm not going to accept this behavior. No, we're not gonna let this, you know, fly by. No, I don't want to do this thing. It's a very like disruptive force, but it's a voice, it's a force of agency. So if you do not feel as though you can say no, boundaries, that's a red flag. Number 4, they either post or talk to others about sneaky, shady stuff and pretend like nothing is wrong to your face. Yo, the amount of subliminal messaging, if you're my friend, say it to my face, right? Like, and this is why it's important for not everything to be humor from the first one, but if there is discontent in the friendship, if you don't like how something was said, or you don't like, you know, how a event occurred, say it to my face. Don't post it on Instagram on some subliminal messaging, trying to make it a quote of life when you're trying to communicate to me, but not communicating to me. I don't like that. I think it's really weird. And I think that, you know, it just reveals that they have this disassociative mindset where they can both hate you and love you at the same time and not be honest. That's a big, 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 big red flag for liars and falsehoods. Number 5, they talk shit about their other friends to you. Now this one is courtesy of one of my friends on IG, but also in real life. Is that if they're comfortable to talk shit about their other friends, that should be a blaring signal that they're comfortable to talk to their other friends about you, right? In the same like jokey, hee ha ha way, right? It doesn't make you special that they're coming over to talk about you. It doesn't mean that you're, and this is what I always thought, that like, I'm the real friend if, you know, they're coming to me to talk about their other friends. It just means that they're literally showing you what they're doing to you, about you, to your face, and you are over here thinking that you're a princess. No. Number 6, they go ghost on you and blame you for the distance. I don't know if you hear this, but you are not a mind reader. And there is this like loyalty test that some friends do that like when they go ghost, you should just know completely what their needs are, completely what their emotional boundaries are, completely just like respect them, you know, going like disappearing. And while I think that yes, everyone has the right to their own privacy, I think it becomes a problem where they use that against you, right? Like, I went away and you didn't check up on me. You went ghost, my G. You did that. You disappeared. You made the decision to not communicate why, you know, you're disappearing. It is not my job to be a mind reader and to know when you disassociate and leave, when I should be checking in on you. And when they make you feel bad about it, because I think there's a conversation and a friendship that has communication to, you know, recover and to communicate and heal from that. But when they use that as anti against you, no, you are not responsible for their mental health. You're not responsible for their trauma and their healing. And this took me so long to realize, because I put a lot of my friends' healing, a lot of, you know, I want to be everything they could possibly need, and when I miss the mark, being hard on myself. But yeah, number 7, not establishing emotional and physical boundaries. You and your friend don't actually need to be twinniums, right? We're very independent, separate individuals who should not be forming a codependent. And by codependent, I mean that your existence or your survival relies on the survival or existence of another person, that you have to question or think about your feelings through the lens of your friends and not through just your own personal lens. You have to establish those emotional and physical boundaries, because if not, they definitely can start bleeding through where you become one, but that's not realistic, that's not practical, and it's also doing you a disservice to your own personal development and growth. Learn what are the necessities, right, for your own personal growth and development, and as you change, right, learn what those physical and emotional, you know, necessities are and live by them. Your communication and your growth with your friend will be better, and in a world where you do not have those, that is a red flag from you to that friend and from that friend to you. Number 8, they expect you to be a ride or die. Blind loyalty. You see that TikTok? I done ride and died. We're done. Ride or die, friends, stop being ride or die. I mean, if they expect you, when I jump, you jump, bitch, no, if you jumping, sometimes if I don't think that it makes sense that while you jumping, you jump, I'm not jumping with you, okay? Because sometimes your friends can do some foolish, dumb stuff, and I'm not riding and dying because I got a whole life independently that I want to live. So that's just a red flag. Sorry. No, I'm not about to ride and die because I done died too many times to ride. Okay? Number 9, they make you feel guilty for changing / thinking different. Yo, it is 2021. We have gone through a pandemic. We have gone through, you know, just a lifestyle change. We've gone through mental and physical, you know, necessities for health. You are a dynamic individual who has to deal with so much. You are going to change. Like, we are not meant to be static. The promises that we made 5 years ago to a friend, 2 years ago to a friend, heck, a year, a few months ago, 3 weeks ago to a friend, you are free and deserving to change your mind or to change how you reflect, have a perspective on certain things. Like that is just your birthright. And to a friend that does not appreciate that or makes you feel guilty for not being who you were last week, last year, last month, that's a red flag, because it means that they want to keep you where you're at, or they were friends with a particular version of you, but not who you are. And that is where the statement of friends for a season comes to play. It's like, yes, in that season, ooh, I bit my tongue. In that season of your life, that friend was there for, but they're not maybe there for you for the entire time. And that's fine, it's fine. Your people, right, will come in for seasons, or they're there for a lifetime. But the one thing that's constant is you in your life. All right, number 10. They talk about you in the workplace. Now this one's personal. Yeah, this best friend definitely emailed a boss and said I was in love with her. And that's the reason why she was being a fucking asshole. And I can say that, you were being a fucking asshole. Because like, you know, I know sometimes she'll watch these videos, or actually no, you were being a fucking asshole. And if she ever watches this, you are an asshole. 100% an asshole. But that's just what it is, right? You know, like there's nothing that I can do to change about that. And that's just a red flag. I don't think that there needs to be a lot of words on this one. I think just in general, when they talk about you in the workplace, like so many boundaries have been crossed. My financial boundaries, my personal boundaries. Like, bro, no. Especially after you cut me off, you know? Like you blocked me and everything, said don't talk to me anymore, and then you decide to do that wild crap. Like no, red flag, red flag, red flag. Because it means that like that friend will literally step all over you for any reason that they personally need, because they're selfish and narcissistic and horrible. Red flag number 11. They gaslight you because they are quote emotional, evolved, and don't think that you are. This is to my grand rising friends, all right? My spiritually woke sisters. You are still healing, you are still traumatized, you are still going through your own stuff. So the moment that you wield having a deeper grammar for your personal process as to why now you can understand somebody else's processing better than they can, red flag, red flag, red flag. That person's healing is for them. Great that they've established a relationship to themselves in a better way. That has nothing to do with you, friend. And you have the right to grow at your own pace. And if you feel as though that person is trying to speed up your timeline and make non-negotiable ultimatums, like go get a therapist, go get a therapist. You don't want to get a therapist? I can't be your friend. Leave. Let me save you literally years of heartache. Leave. We're not getting ultimatums from friends on some BS spiritual development. You ain't doing it like how I'm doing it. Red flag. 12. They celebrate you not leaving when they are being toxic. This is kind of like the ride or die stuff, but like if a friend just like yells at you and then you don't do anything because as an empath or somebody who in their childhood had to process the emotions of other people and didn't really prioritize their own, you're used to people, you know, acting out and kind of taking that in and not lashing back out because you don't prioritize yourself as an individual to react. And so the friend is like, oh my gosh, thank you for not leaving. Red flag. Because it means that they understand their own toxic behavior and are not willing to change that because they know that you will stay. Don't be celebrated. Like, like, how are you gonna celebrate you being disrespected? And like, let's take the ego out of it. How are you gonna celebrate somebody not understanding how they are hurting you and them, right? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Number 13, they think that you winning or putting them on is you thinking you are better than them. Here's a fact. I got my ex-friend the job that she had / currently has. Like, that's not something that's like debatable. It's what happened, it's what occurred. And in her dissertation of thoughts to tell me why I'm not ish, is that me doing that was viewing her as a competitor, not as a friend, and that the different moves that I was making in other occupations, putting her name in the ring, also is me viewing her as a friend or a competitor, not a friend. Yo, if you're not talking about your friends in other rooms, and putting them on. If you're not putting your friend's name in rooms while they're not there, if you're not bragging about your friends in rooms that they are not in, are you a real friend? And if they make you feel as though you have put yourself on a pedestal because you are putting in that work or you are speaking about them to put them on, red motherfucking flags. It means that one, they're not grateful, and they're going to, it's an insecurity of theirs that they have about you. Jealousy for one, comparison for two, and just being insecure for either not being good about their own finances or putting themselves on, or just like they got some evil in their heart that they gotta work through. I felt that way. That's personal. Cause like, bruh, no, I'm not about to feel bad that I helped you. Nope, not about to do it. And I did for a year, y'all. For a year, I toggled with that. But no, I put you on. I would do that 10 times over for any friend. I'm talking, this was a best friend of mine. I would do that 10 times over because like networking, and especially as Black women, like we have to be strategic with our opportunities. And if there's a way that I can help my friend get in a room that she doesn't have to go through the 10,000 steps to even get into that space, I'm gonna do it. Like, no, we have too many things stacked up against us as Black women. We're not gonna have to continue with that narrative. Next, they feel comfortable to talk about your family. Now, this can go left or right. So I'm talking about the friends who think that your mom is now their mom, or your grandfather is now their grandfather, or your aunt is now their aunt. It is not. It's not. They are family, but that is your family. You grew up with that family. You have to heal from those emotional wounds of that family. They do not. And so the friend that gets real close and it's like, that's my mom too now, and like has their own separate conversations with the mom and think that like they can now kind of talk to you on that level, red mother freaking flag. That ain't your family. And I would never, ever, ever in this life feel comfortable to say, oh, your relationship to your mother is fucked up and you only view her, boop, boop, boop. Never ever should you ever talk about somebody else's family relationships if not asked. Ever, ever. Red flag, red flag, red flag, and fuck you for doing it. So, yes, y'all, that was the 14 red flags in a friendship. Y'all, like I said, this was meant to be both accountability on the end of the red flags that somebody does towards you, and then red flag behavior that you participate in that puts you in a very toxic friendship that you think is strong, unshakable. That's my ride or die, that's my bestie, that's my best friend, go best friend. No. We are too grown, too evolved, too dynamic to be allowing BS and unhealed attachment associations to get in the way of attracting the right people in our lives and to holding ourselves to a standard where we grow and get more comfortable with having boundaries instead of friendships. But without further ado, I'm hoping that y'all enjoyed Vlogmas Day 3. Looking forward to Day 4. Subscribe, because we got some more stuff on its way. Bye, y'all.